Okay, so welcome to Quit Your Rabbling. This is our first ever debate podcast. Today we have Chris Taylor, David Napton. Sorry, did you want to say something, sweetheart?
No, I'm good.
Okay. David Napton and Tyler Hoskin. And what we're going to do is, you know, what's pressing on every Canadian's mind right now, which is the election coming up. So we're going to go over the topics, and we're going to have a bit of an open forum discussion with these three guys. If it gets out of hand or out of control, I can calmly tell them to
shut the fuck up.
See, maybe not in those words.
Oh, okay.
But,
I think it should be those exact words.
I think it probably should be those exact words.
Listen.
Quit your rabbling.
Yeah,
Ooh.
no, that works too. I like it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Now it all makes sense.
It all makes sense. So,
Wondered why we picked that name.
What we can do is just introduce yourselves and maybe a little bit about your political views. Keep it under like 15, 20 seconds. All right. We'll start with Tyler.
Oh, geez. Okay. Well, I'm Tyler. Hi. Hi, guys. I feel like I'm at an AA meeting or something.
Yeah.
For the most part, I'm pretty liberal.
Good.
That's good. I'll leave it there for now.
Okay.
Liberal as in the word or the party? No, I'm kidding.
Well,
depends on the topic.
yeah.
Okay. Dave?
My political views, mine range as a quasi-Christian.
Quasi.
I can't relate to the whole thing like the conservative parties are Christian. I'm kind of leaning more liberal or maybe NDP. It's kind of where I'm stuck right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and Chris?
Yeah, I'm Chris, and I definitely lean more on the conservative side, not the party, but more conservative in my views.
The word. More to the right.
Right, that's right.
It's like, so if there's a center,
I'm definitely...
It's like you're just a smidgen off.
Just a little.
The center to the right, then these guys are a smidgen off center to the left.
Yeah.
That's right.
I might be a little bit more off to the left, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm the one that's going to cause balance, I think, because we'd be tipping all the way to the left if it was just these two guys. So it means I have to argue twice as hard.
You're going to bring balance to the force.
No, I'm not.
Which side's the dark side? That's the good question.
It's a four-cornered room and it's all dark. That's what it is. Okay, so first topic, we're going to go down the pretty little list we have here. And the first topic of discussion is economies and taxes.
Cool.
So who wants to start it off? Anyone?
Okay.
Anyone?
So I do have a question because and it relates. I think it relates to the economy because everyone is stop Harper this, stop Harper that. Why? What has Harper done that's been so bad?
See, I think in terms of Harper in the economy, aside from the fact that the last 3 or 4 prime ministers before him, we were in this giant surplus.
Right.
Now we are in a giant deficit.
Okay.
Like, we went from a $2 billion surplus to a $2 billion deficit.
Okay.
That's why everybody's pissed the fuck off.
Okay, but is it his fault or is it the whole...
Well, it happened while he was in power.
What's that?
It happened while he was in power.
Right,
yeah.
But
so he gets the blame.
The whole world's economy has crashed in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So it's not just Canada that's
But it's not just been the last 4 years either. It's been the last 12 years? Is that how long he's been in there?
10, I think.
Yeah. So
it's been 10. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, thanks.
But
fact checker too.
But my question,
yeah, that was my fact check moderator.
Like I said, the whole world's gone through this economic downturn.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. And I think blaming it on him isn't fair.
No, and I'll agree with you on that.
Okay.
And I have no problem with that. I think it's easy to blame him because he's there. and he's in power, and he's been in power for the last 10 years. And the guys before him have all been economists and financial guys, and, well, he's not. So he's relying on the guys in his cabinet to do that. So that's not exactly... It's not helping any.
Right.
I think the thing is, too, is, like, any leader is always ultimately on the hook. It doesn't matter how many other... You can even put in the whole thing of businesses, which the world is kind of like a big running business in a sense. It doesn't matter who that business is. They could all be struggling, but who's the person within each of those businesses, or countries will even put it, who's the ultimate one responsible? It doesn't really matter who else is beneath that person, but it's the leader. It's who's ever at the top. You know, if your company is going to be your CEOs, they're going to be the persons taking the blame. You know, Harper is that person, and the blame ultimately falls on him. And if he's trying to put it on anyone else, he's not doing his job as a leader. He's not a leader.
Okay, I can understand. I can understand that he's the guy in charge. He should take responsibility, and I get that. But like I said, it's the whole world.
Yeah, which is like fair.
Greece, we're not in the toilet like Greece is.
No,
I mean that's a whole
right. So,
right there.
And I mean, and from what I understand, we were one of the first countries to start bouncing back.
Yeah, and this is just being politicized, right? Like it's a bargaining chip now. It's we can do better than this fucker.
My question would be is like, what has Harper done to help our economy?
Okay, well, I don't. Okay, economics aside, but I can say what he's done that has benefited my life personally.
Okay,
and one is the tax splitting between couples. I think it's been
this family tax cut thing.
Well, no, the one where you can assign up to $50,000 either way.
Oh yeah, okay.
On your income tax. Now, the past 6-7 years, if we got an income tax return, it was like $20.
We didn't get one,
or we didn't get one at all. But with this, we were able to like move stuff around, and we actually got income tax returns this year. For the first time in a long time. So that's directly benefited me. The child tax benefit is a lot better than it was.
Right.
So these are things
but the child tax benefit is like, there's a portion of it that's taxable now, right? That wasn't before.
Yeah, that's right. It's changed now, so right?
That's a load of BS right there.
But even with that taxable bit, we still got more back in our taxes than we did previous.
Yeah,
and that's a real world example, right? Like, so I don't know.
Yeah, because I'm not seeing as much, and even with just like, we're even getting a little bit less back now for our actual child tax, which sucks.
I can't really comment.
Some of Harper's stuff, like he really promises a lot and then starts doing a lot when it's coming up to election time. But it feels like during the other times when he's not worried about an election, just does whatever the fuck he wants to.
Right.
And he's really concerned about the rich. Like, his idea of what the average Canadian family makes is so out of whack. Like, maybe, like, the average that's kind of based off of is more, like, not necessarily what are most families making on average, but it's more so what's the average. And then you throw, like, the really rich people in there skewing the numbers a bit. So, I just see that he's helped people with the new tax.
All his
it's as being for rich people.
All the tax cuts are most beneficial to the super rich.
Yeah,
and and by super rich, I mean people making above and over $200K.
Right.
Yeah.
But okay,
sorry, go ahead.
I'm just okay. So I'm looking at this list of stuff, and I see that he reduced small business tax to 9% from 11%, and reduced corporate tax from 22% to 15%. But I'm not seeing any other cuts to taxes for rich. So I don't see where that is.
Well, for example, the family tax cut, like you're seeing some in you, like some benefit to you. There is much more benefit to the rich.
Okay.
Like they're getting more money back. So for let's say, since I'm a liberal,
right?
propose this: the family tax cut stays in place,
right?
But if you are making over $150,000 a year, you don't get shit.
Okay.
Because, well, you can afford to have, like, if within your family, if you are making more than $200,000 a year combined, the two of you, you can probably more than likely afford to sell your Lamborghini and take care of your kids.
$200K a year ain't buying no fucking Lamborghini. One.
I know. I'm just
two. No. But okay. But who?
But
why is the government able to decide? No, you can afford to pay more taxes.
But that's the thing. They're saying to the rich that they're not paying more taxes. Like, the Conservative Party in this is saying they're not paying more taxes. They're actually getting more of a benefit.
Okay.
From the tax cut. They're getting more money back.
Okay.
So they're getting more than you got back.
Right.
But they're making more money.
Okay.
You're making less money.
Yes.
You should get more money back to support your children because you're making less money.
Okay.
That's the liberal view.
Right.
That's you're only making $35,000 a year. I'm going to give you the tax cut that the rich would take to you instead of to them.
They do pay more in taxes.
And they should.
Sometime. Well, like, it caps, right? Like, I think the actual cap is like at 100K, and it's only a specific percentage of tax after that. What the liberals are proposing are to give the 200K plus a separate tax bracket, so they're paying more tax.
33%, I believe I saw.
Sounds about right.
Okay.
So, but they're currently only paying like 20.
Right.
So they're still earning more money than the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at like percentages, right? It's just, so we're trying to say tax the rich and give it to the poor, like Robin Hood. Yeah.
Okay. So the liberals are Robin Hood.
Yes. Exactly.
And so here's what we've learned: the liberals are Robin Hood, and the conservatives are the sheriff of Nottingham.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Perfect.
And
there's like so much bad between all the parties, but really,
yeah.
Okay, so how about I pose this a different way? Because you're talking about, what is it that is making you lean towards another party in regards to taxes? So what is it about the liberals saying they're going to tax the 200, K plus? I wonder if that touches the prime minister if he gets some power.
It does.
But,
does he make over 200K? I thought they only made like 175.
I'm sure his wife works.
And that's for life too. I'll have you know, that's for life.
And that's why I've thought many times about running for office, because I'm like, you know what? You just got to get in once, and you're good. You're set.
Get in once, you could be impeached. It doesn't fucking matter. You're making that for life.
So my question is, because again, it's the 18 to 25-year-old demographic that probably is like, oh, I want to vote, but by the time they can't take the 20 minutes out of their day to vote. Yeah. What is it about the taxes that should make them go and vote for a specific party?
And see, they're not going to give a shit. They don't care about the tax part of it because it doesn't affect them at all.
It does affect them.
How?
Because they get taxed.
They get taxed, but to the tax cut, they're not going to see any like. So you show me the 18 to 25-year-old that's making $100,000 a year. They're very few and far between.
Punch him in the face.
Yeah, that too, and we'll steal all his money. But you know what I mean? Like,
we're gonna roll him for his points.
It's very rare that you're going to see an 18 to 25-year-old making that kind of money.
Right. Yeah.
So the fact it's the tax cut.
So the people that they're trying to reach out to right now, the 18 to 25-year-olds, aren't going to go and vote on a
based
on
taxes.
They're not going to vote based on taxes. No.
Okay. So then what is an 18 to 25-year-olds, what's their most important topic?
I would say education.
Education?
Okay,
especially secondary school or post-secondary school
and things like that.
Post-secondary and tuitions and.
Okay, so let's talk about that then, because it's something that I know, some of the other parties, not to say conservatives have or have not, but they want to eliminate, debts over $10,000 or things like that.
I think that was the Green Party mostly.
Yeah, well, they want to do a lot. So, yeah, the Green Party are just a bunch of dreamers. We know that they're dreamers. Yeah, but so let's talk about that. So, what is it about what they can do that will say, hey, this is why I want to go out and vote? Anyone?
Bueller.
I'm looking for the what do you call it, for the school stuff on here, and I'm not finding it.
I don't see it on there either. But I heard on the radio today, on my way home actually, that apparently, I don't know if this is true or not, but the Liberal Party would like to say that everybody has to learn the same way.
So no homeschooling?
Well, not necessarily homeschooling, but like in the public education system, there is like, and I know it's not easy to do, to give like a broadened curriculum, but it's going to be very, this is how it is, blah, blah, blah.
So someone in Ontario isn't going to learn something different than, say, Alberta. And when I say different, I mean the pace of learning or the content of the curriculum.
Right.
So if in, say, grade 9, you have to read the chrysalids, every grade 9 student across the country is reading the chrysalids. That's what you mean?
Basically. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
but you don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure.
Okay. I really wish I could find the stuff on the post-secondary stuff, but I'm not seeing it here at all. I say fuck them. Make the interest on their student loans 1,000%. I'm totally kidding.
Yeah, and see, like, and that's where education's weird too, because it's very provincial, right?
Yes.
And it's not exactly, because you've got OSAP. It's an Ontario student loan thing. I hated OSAP. I only just got at OSAP 2 years ago.
Yeah,
I was going to say, there's no way you could have gotten OSAP living with your mom and dad. You wouldn't have qualified for it.
I did 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
The trick is you just lie about where you live. That's what I had to do.
But no one would do that.
What? Oh, I never would do that. I would never lie about where I lived. Okay, cool. So what else? Okay, since education seems to be a bust, what other issues are important to the 18 to 25-year-olds?
Pot getting legalized.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, and you're absolutely right, because that is an issue that 18 to 25-year-olds would care about.
Under the topic of justice,
Yes.
We'll just go through this. The Conservatives promised to not, so this is the big thing, would be to not decriminalize or legalize possession of marijuana. Whereas the NDP would promise to immediately decriminalize marijuana, so nobody goes to jail for smoking a joint. And the party is open to considering legalization, but is calling for a commission to consult about it. The Liberals legalize pot and allow it to be sold and taxed in approved outlets.
Yeah, let's get everybody high.
Liberal Leader Justin Trudeau says he expects people would not be allowed to buy the drug until they turn 18 or 19, depending on the province in which they live.
That's what I'd be thinking. That would make the most sense, really. I mean, same thing with alcohol.
I'm on board.
You're on board. You're on board. You guys are on board. And I mean, you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I'm on board as well. It's only done good things in Colorado.
Yeah, exactly.
Only done good things.
And we've seen it in action, right? Like it's happened, and it's yes, sure. Pot, it makes you funky. So does fucking alcohol.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Like,
and I would say alcohol's worse.
And it's like it's a downer. I get it.
Not that I've ever done any sort of illegal substances. But alcohol is worse than.
Right, but like it'll legalize it. They'll be able to regulate it.
Yep.
Right.
They'll be able to tax it, and it's another tax stream.
They'll be able.
I mean, I think it's ultimately a good thing.
And it'll probably put down the actually illegal selling of it.
Yes.
Like there'll be a spot to go to if you really want to buy it at a store. Go get it. It's legal. You're not going to get caught. You're not going to get sent to jail or anything.
You don't have to sneak around,
right? And it'll be easier to
and the same rules like would apply to drinking. So it would be like you can't operate a vehicle when you
and you can't buy it for minors. Like you can't for cigarettes and
you just treat it like alcohol.
People can legally brew their own beer or whatever in their basement if they want to, right?
Yes,
I believe so. Yeah.
So if this changes, would you be able to grow your own weed in your basement in a bathtub?
I would. I don't see why not.
I think that it's.
You'd probably.
If I'm correct, the answer is no. It has to be. It would be like tobacco. You wouldn't grow tobacco in your basement or something like that. It would have to be in a regulated grow op.
Yeah, because they don't want it mixed with other stuff, right? I think that's the.
Yeah, I can definitely see something like that.
So
you are all in favor of
let's get high, motherfuckers.
And legalization of marijuana.
All in favor.
Man, you're lucky I'm moderating.
Are you against that shit?
You know what? I guess it's a matter of devil's advocate. I always, you need to hear the opposite side of it, and the opposite side of that would be, yes, you're saying it's going to be. I know, right? I can't like. Here's the thing: anybody that knows me in high school will be like, "I'm sorry, who is this? What? Huh?" But okay, so you're saying, "Oh, it'll be illegal. You have to be age of majority at least, yada yada yada." But that never prevented anyone getting cigarettes.
Nor will it prevent
anyone getting alcohol.
Nor will it prevent anyone from getting this either.
And it doesn't now. It doesn't prevent you from getting it now.
The question is it enabling? Because it's the next.
No,
hold on. Let me finish.
All right.
It's all about the next cool thing now. I'm not saying once the hype's died down and it's an everyday occurrence, will it spike? So will there be that
next, right?
Yeah, well, it's a gateway drug. But will it spike? Will there be an influx of 12-year-olds trying to get pot?
Probably. But I don't think any more so than they do now. But.
I was going to say,
they're good.
I'm sure that within 15 minutes of right now, I could figure out a way to get pot.
It's going to take that.
And that's 15 minutes of me like dilly-dallying. I know enough people who know enough people who know enough people.
I was just going to say, I could probably do it in less than 30 seconds.
I don't need any time.
See?
Remember the basements we're talking about?
I walk down the street.
There you go.
Again, but I'm saying like the I can see the conservative side to it, and again, you're looking at the probably 45, 50 plus demographic that would be against the decriminalization, legalization of marijuana. Like if the conservatives had a 33, 43-year-old candidate, may not be an issue. I think it may. I think it comes down to they're taking the older, more Christian-ish, because apparently you're supposed to be more lenient to conservatives if you're Christian. But
it's weird.
I know, right? It is. No, it seriously is because the new conservatives are weird. But it just seems that's But anybody under the age of 40, I'm assuming, would be all for it.
One of the things for me is like I just feel like if somebody really wants to smoke weed, they shouldn't have a criminal record for that. That's the biggest thing I feel like. And if my daughter got caught with weed at 15, I wouldn't want her having a criminal record or even a juvie record for that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's just when I was in high school, going back onto your point of 12-year-olds finding pot, it happens. When I was in high school, it was happening. The grade 9s were.
Really? Well, see, no, not. I don't know for me in high school. I would say grade 9. I'd say grade 11 was the 15, 16 is when you hit that.
Yeah, but I mean, like I'm
sure there were grade 9s that did it, but.
Yeah, so like the kids who had older brothers and sisters in grade 11 or 12, and they were in grade 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Like it was easily accessible to them because their older brothers and sisters had it or could get it easily.
I'm sure if my brothers had lived in the same city as I did, it would have been very easy for me to get whatever it was I wanted if I wasn't of age.
Yeah. Like I think at least like decriminalizing it would be the best idea for sure. Legalizing it might take a little bit for everybody to get on board with, but eventually...
Well, the way it is in Amsterdam, it's not legal, but it has been decriminalized.
Yes,
I think that's the way it is.
Yeah, I think it changed because
it did change.
Changed from being legal. I don't know. I don't remember the reason why, but I know a bunch of that stuff had been shut down.
Because Amsterdam's changed a lot. It's not the cool place it was.
That was cool.
Well, I mean, everybody talked about how cool it was.
I just remember Beer Fest and
Royale with cheese.
Royale with cheese.
Okay, so obviously, the decriminalization of pot, basically, would be a factor of who would vote. It's obvious, like 18 to 25-year-olds probably aren't going to vote conservative.
No.
I think
not if that's their main issue.
Yeah. Well, again, what are their main issues? They don't have many.
And that's just it.
I think the other thing which a lot of people would probably be talking about, which would give someone an opinion, would be security and terrorism. I think that would be the most pressing issue one way or another as to why someone would or wouldn't vote in the next election and who they would vote for. So let's start with the infamous Bill C-51.
Yeah. Now, like I said, I'm conservative in views, but not in this bill. This thing's a mess.
They could have done it so much better.
And what bothers me is that the Liberals were in on it as well. So even if the Liberals get in, they've said, "Oh, we're going to retool it." I'm not buying it.
No, it was done the wrong way.
There's not enough oversight. It's not transparent enough. It's not a good.
It's giving
not a good bill.
Law enforcement to just do whatever the hell they want. Like it's not. There's the law for the reason,
illegal.
Yeah.
In the name of social or national security.
Yes. And I'm not sure that was the right way to go about it.
And again, like throwing around the word terrorist.
It's just fear-mongering.
We got into a little bit of a debate about it last night about what happened in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And they were very quick to call that guy a terrorist.
Yes.
But was he actually a terrorist?
We'll never know. We'll just know what they tell us. And they tell us he was a terrorist, and that's all we're ever going to know unless you run for prime minister. And win. And then you'll know. But
yeah.
That's one of those issues that kind of makes me lean a little more towards NDP on that.
Yeah, because they want to repeal it completely, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree that definitely it makes me lean more towards NDP, but I
think something like this needs to be there. It just needs to be, I don't know, done the right way.
Well, I like the whole idea of like trying to support like counter radicalization programs.
Yeah,
because that's where it all starts to begin with, anyways. Is how our young people are becoming radicalized towards these things. Their anger is being taken advantage of.
Okay, but if this was actually a problem, if self-radicalization was actually a problem, wouldn't we be hearing of more and more of this shit than just one guy in Ottawa a year ago? And then, there's nothing happening. If I saw things happening, then okay, maybe, but there's nothing happening. There's no real threat from this. Throwing money and putting these friggin' like crazy laws in because we're afraid.
Yeah, no, and
we're throwing away our freedoms.
Definitely, and that's why I don't see C-51 as being like any kind of like really needing to exist at all. The whole supporting counter radicalization programs is more like, I see it as more like programs designed towards those people to kind of help bring them out of that. Like when they get in those places where they're really angry, like what's really going on with them? How do we get them out of that? Because really, most times it's not ending up as anything big, but sometimes, yeah, there seems to be more people going to ISIS and stuff like that, right? Like there's more people going there, joining these things from Canada, but they may even get to those areas and decide, what am I doing? And go back.
But now they can't.
Because
if you leave Canada to go and fight for ISIS, you lose your citizenship, and fuck you, you're out.
Yeah.
And that's like, and like you said, what if they go and they're like, hey, what the fuck am I doing? Well, now, too bad.
Yeah, so then they're like, well, I guess I'm here.
Yeah.
Stuck here.
I'm an ISIS guy now. Look at my Toyota truck. Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so touching on that, I'll expand that further and ask. So not just about Bill, C-51, but about revoking Canadian citizenship and the and I use air quotes. I wish you can see me because I'm gagging a little when I say immigrants. No, seriously, because I throw up in my mouth a little whenever I see my newsfeed on Facebook right now, and
it's getting bad.
I won't say one way or another, but again, I do that. So let's talk about immigration, the Syrian refugees, or refugees in general. Why do they just have to be Syrian? Refugees in general and immigration.
That's where the problem is right now, because there's thousands of people fleeing Syria.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if we're gonna say refugees as a whole, we might as well say refugees, because Canada is the place for refugees at the moment.
We've always been
that place. You can speak about the Chinese immigrants coming in by boats and like not necessarily legal, but they're still being refugees. And
no, I am not against refugees coming to Canada. And I'm not saying welcome to Canada, learn English, get rid of your burqas and your hijabs. I'm not saying any of that stuff is all that stuff is bullshit, and that's not what Canada is. It's not what Canada ever was, and that's not what Canada ever should be.
Yeah, I agree.
Word. Question.
Question.
Okay, yes. So say somebody immigrates from India or Iraq, and it's a female, and she's got to wear whatever the hell that things are called, burqas or whatever.
That's the burqa's the one word.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Driver's license photo.
Okay. So now let's talk about that driver's license photo that's been floating around.
And
now,
yes,
that driver's license photo is fake. 100% fake. The name, Lindsay pointed this out to me, but the name you can clearly make out is John Doe.
The name is John Doe. It's 123 Main Street. The postal code is fake. And even the picture doesn't match the holographic image.
Yeah.
There's so much wrong with it.
It says male on it, right?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, but I know people are going to ask about it. That's why I bring it up.
I understand. They have to take it off.
I honestly don't know.
From what I'm like 99% sure they have to take it off.
Yeah, I am with the same there. I
know people. It's in the back of everybody's head, and we might as well get it out of the way now. I actually haven't seen the picture, so
you are very
it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, you're very lucky, and it's so fake. And how many people that I know that are freaking out about it?
Oh, I know, and you're just like, just read it, people.
Wow.
And like
the one picture I have seen that's been going around the internet is do a fucking Google search before you start.
Oh, is it the Facebook
about
thing,
or just anywhere? Just it's always been
$5.99 thing.
You need to find the fucking facts before you state your opinion.
Right.
Like, do a little bit of research.
Right.
Facebook is not a good form of information.
No.
Period.
You do not get information from Facebook.
Wikipedia, sure.
Okay, I mean, sure, on most topics, controversial topics, like don't even bother.
No. But I mean, like, do a little research before you find out anything and form an opinion. Form an educated opinion, not just a...
Yeah, don't knee-jerk.
Drives me nuts.
All right. Okay, so aside from immigration, what other stuff can we talk about?
The other thing because there's the environment. Let's talk about the energy and the environment.
Energy and the environment.
Let's talk about energy.
And you know what? I think most of us can. You can probably disregard any oil line type things because, again, does it affect you directly? No. It's more the carbon taxes and things like that. And did you know, Neil? I read Neil deGrasse Tyson. He even said carbon dioxide emissions have gone up because, there's not 7 billion people on the planet Earth breathing, but whatever.
What do you mean?
What?
What do you mean there's 7 billion people? What are you talking about? Does the population keep growing?
Yeah.
No way.
It does.
That's wild.
Crazy, right?
We need a culling.
We should tell these doctors to stop being so good.
It'll be like, stop the culling of humans or something. Anyway, so I think the next big issue is the environment.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So my biggest issue with both the Liberal and the NDP is that they're big on carbon taxes and a cap and trade system. And if you want to talk about carbon taxes, just go ask an Australian citizen what they think of carbon taxes.
Sure.
Because they instituted a carbon tax in 2012, and then they repealed it last year because it was destroying them. So energy costs went up. They're very heavy in coal energy, which is, not great for the environment, but that's what all their energy comes from. Businesses' energy costs went up 80%.
Wow.
Because of the carbon tax. So if you ran a business, you were paying almost double for your electricity.
Wow.
And what do you think they did but pass the savings on to their customers?
Oh, obviously.
So they all raised their prices. So you went to, your local restaurant for a sandwich. Well, yesterday it was $5. Today it's $9. Right? You have to make up that money. Now, everyone's like, hey, why are your prices going up? And everyone's saying, oh, well, the carbon tax, is really hitting us hard, blah, blah, blah. Well, all of a sudden, you weren't allowed to say it was because of the carbon tax anymore because they didn't want the negative press on it. And yeah, it was not a good thing. A carbon tax is not the answer because
no, it's not.
Because okay, I'm on record on my stance on global warming and climate change, and I will state it again that yes, maybe the climate is changing, but do we have anything to do with it? Probably not. And is all of this going to actually do anything in the long run? No. If there was an actual problem, taxing people on how much carbon they're using is not going to fix the problem. Fixing the problem is stopping using things that put carbon into the atmosphere. So if you want to actually fix climate change, you get rid of cars. We all start driving. If they stopped making gas cars today and only made electric cars, then we have no more fucking energy or no more global warming problem.
I wouldn't say no more. It would be
way less.
It would be significantly less.
Right. It would be enough to get us below whatever the
going back to Lindsay's point of 7 billion people and climbing.
Right.
It's always going to go up somehow.
Anyways.
Right? Like there is no stopping it going up. We can't do that.
Right.
But there is a climate change. It happens. And I agree with you that taxing it is stupid and not going to help.
Right. Yeah. But both the Liberals and the NDPs, that's their answer.
Yeah.
It's trade. And I mean, it's already going to come in Ontario anyways because what's her name wants it.
Yeah. What's her knob?
So it's already going to happen here.
Yes.
And it's not going to be good. I can promise you that it's not going to be good. Everything you buy right now is going up. So,
yeah, I definitely agree. It's not the answer. I personally do believe that we are causing a lot of the problems on this planet. That you see, but yeah, I definitely don't see that as the answer. It's not the answer.
Yeah, we definitely caused the problem. It's our fault for sure.
Yeah.
Like
I think Billy Joel said it best.
We didn't start the fire.
Sorry, I had to.
That's awesome. Well done.
I mean, businesses don't really pay their own taxes, right? I mean, like you said, that cost is going on to the customers, and that's pretty much the end of the story right there.
Right. And so this is going to hurt. It's not going to help the environment in any way, and it's only going to hurt regular people like us.
Yeah.
So this is a big thing for me because this is a huge everyone's like, yeah, we need to do stuff for the environment. Well, okay, but this is not the answer.
No.
And to have the two other major parties with this is their answer, this is not the answer.
No. Yeah, definitely not.
I think what it's going to come down to is the tax cuts on one get canceled out by the taxes implemented by the same party.
Yeah.
It's like everything every party says is going to cancel everything.
Each other out.
Yeah, that's so true.
Well, yeah, it's
back to square one.
They're cutting taxes one place and they're going to put taxes in somewhere else. That's just how they work. The money's got to come from somewhere. They got to get their $175,000 paycheck to go to work for 10 days a fucking year.
I think they work more than 10 days a year.
I would like you to Google right now how many times Mr. Stephen Harper has been in the House of Commons this year.
Really? I will Google it right now.
How many times has he been in the House of Commons? And they have meetings every day.
Did you guys hear that the Senate actually quietly gave themselves a raise too?
Of course they did. It's so dumb.
We don't have enough money to take care of veterans. We don't have enough money for all these other things, but we have enough money to give ourselves a raise because we're not making enough.
And they don't have to show up to do anything. That's what pisses me off the most about politicians and their I don't have a problem with them making that kind of money because sure, they're running the country, fine, but show up to work.
Yeah, actually run the company, run the country, run it.
Yeah, go there, do your fucking job, and I'm okay with paying you.
There you go, Tyler. I'm gonna vote for you.
Show up every day. That's all. If you were to tell me right now that any one of these four guys would show up to the House of Commons every day, my vote done.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I you know what, I would agree with you there. If you were to show up, yeah. So I think the one thing we can honestly say is we're all in agreement that it's no one party.
No,
it's no
one party is
one topic. It's and as I was saying before. It's fortunately/unfortunately, it's going to be a minority government over the next who knows how long.
2 years.
No. But minority governments only last 2 years.
Right.
But, I mean, how many years are we going to have that minority government where it's going to flip-flop between the conservatives and the liberals until...
I don't know. NDP poll tracker today, the NDP's got 30%, so...
All right. So for 2014,
yeah,
Prime Minister Stephen Harper was present for 46 out of 125 sessions. Trudeau's not any better because he was only there for 49 of them.
What about Mulcair?
74.
Huh.
What about the Green Party lady?
Looking. He's
I don't see the Green Party
Tell me
lady.
You want that guy running your country?
I do not want that guy.
Look at him and say, yes, I'm okay with you being my prime minister. Because
put some makeup on him and he's goddamn it.
Yeah.
and for 45 sessions, none of the three party leaders were there.
Wow.
Really? Where you been? You just shaking people's hands?
So is the answer spoiling my ballot? Is that the answer?
No.
And no. You know what? I saw it on somebody else's Facebook thing saying that was their answer.
No,
spoil the ballot.
So then what's
I disagree with that.
To not vote is irresponsible.
Okay. So let's take me as an example. I agree with the NDP on getting rid of C51. I agree with the Conservatives on continuing what we're doing with the environment.
Yeah.
I agree with the Liberals on legalizing pot. Okay?
Yep.
I agree with the Conservatives on the taxes. I've listed the four of the major things.
Yeah.
I agree with the Conservatives on two out of those four, but I'm still not confident enough to vote for the Conservatives. What do I do?
Okay, so... Well, and that's the problem. You're voting, as I believe Dave said at the beginning of this, the lesser of three evils.
I don't think there is a lesser.
Here's the thing. It comes down to, you're going to hear this a lot. Okay? So it's going to be one of three sayings. Either, why should I vote? It's not going to matter. It's, you vote for the lesser of the three evils, or you vote for the devil you know.
Yeah.
The worst part about it is none of those statements are promising.
No, and that's the problem. And I would say most of the people are going to either not vote, or they will vote for who's in power because they don't know any better.
Okay,
but I think you're right. I think most people who are in
if they don't know,
it's just easier for me to just stay home.
Yes.
Who cares?
So let's talk about. So I'm gonna, let's talk about this for a second when it comes to voting, because obviously there's more than just us that are in this same sinking ship.
Yep.
What about the whole? What are your views on the whole fair election thing.
Oh, I think Harper's a cocksucker because of it.
Tell us how you really feel, Tyler.
Well, yeah, seriously. I mean, the past elections he's called or have been called, he knew he was going to win.
Right. And this one, he's scared.
This one, he's actually scared.
He is actually scared.
And
because I honestly don't think he's going to win this one.
I don't think he's going to win either. I think, and that's what.
You can attack Justin Trudeau's hair all you want.
You can attack anybody all you want, but
right.
the fact of the matter is the Liberals are probably going to win this election.
Yes. Yeah,
and it has nothing to do with Ontario. I will give you the fact that if you live in southern Ontario and you don't know what to do to vote, yes, it matters, but as a whole, whatever your riding is going, it's going.
Yeah.
Whatever it has for the last 70 years
now
is what it's going to be.
But okay, by that effect, but by saying that, you're actually saying that Stephen Harper's going to get back in.
No, I'm not.
No, he's saying in Ontario.
In Ontario. At least in southern Ontario.
I think
out west,
I think there's going to be a few. So, and I'll throw this out there as well. How much of a difference do you think all these people that can vote, will vote, won't vote, can differentiate between provincial and federal governments? And you see where I'm going with this,
yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of people not happy right now with the current Premier of Ontario.
Right.
Who happens to be Liberal.
And that's why...
may get their wires crossed, too. So
and that's why I think that whatever your riding is currently, that's the way it's staying. Because everybody, at least, especially in southern Ontario, education is number one. They fucking hate the Liberals for education, so they're going to stick with the Conservatives.
Yeah.
So they're going to vote Conservative federal. And that'll be... Ontario's going blue.
So, okay, and I read a very interesting statistic today about the population of Canada and how there are more people over the age of 65 than there are under the age of 15, which, is interesting. But the
fucking
way
baby boomers.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And the growth is actually mainly from immigrants. Just going to say.
Yeah. My parents.
But it's... Oh, yeah. Damn you, Tyler. But it's, obviously Ontario controls 38% of the population, with Quebec running to 23.
Yeah. And what's going to determine, I'm going to call it now, what's going to determine this election is what happens out west.
Yeah, because when Ontario was 38%, Quebec was 23, BC was 13, and Alberta was almost 12.
Yeah, so
it's going to be BC and Alberta.
The western provinces are going to decide this election. And, I mean, Ontario's probably going mostly blue. Quebec is probably going mostly red. Because that's the way it always is. And if you watch any kind of polling if you've been I don't know why, but I'm very interested when elections happen, and I like to see where people are voting and how people are voting in different parts of the country. So it's out west. Out east is probably it's going to be a mix.
Yeah.
There might be a few NDPs around Toronto.
Mainly, again, if we go based on what you just said, Burlington is usually conservative.
Oh yeah.
Hamilton has now leaned more towards NDP, especially the Lower Mountain.
Yeah, sure.
Dave, you've lived in both.
That's true. I think because I've seen more NDP signs around here even too.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah,
because it is NDP right now. Our riding.
Yeah.
I believe you're in the same riding as us.
Am I? Yeah, probably. We live close enough to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting election for sure. I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do.
So really, what's happened, at least for this Quit Your Rabbling, is it's not. We have nothing to rabble about because we
got nowhere.
And that's the problem, I think, with Canadian politics. Like, everybody is so out there.
Do you think that we would benefit from having just a two-party system though, like the U.S.?
No,
I think that's a benefit.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think so.
So the three party, even though technically there's five, but the 3-party system is definitely better.
So I think the multiple party system is better. Yeah. But I mean, like, it gives more people a voice. It gives everybody the chance to find where they are, like where they actually fit, and vote for that party that you think you belong to.
Now, do you think that we should get rid of the what do they call it, the first to post process? Because that's
I don't think I have enough knowledge of to figure out to give you an answer.
Basically, that's where we vote for our riding.
Yes,
right, and the number of
ridings. and I think that's what something everybody doesn't understand.
Right.
Like, I'm not voting for Stephen Harper.
Right.
I'm not voting for Trudeau. I'm voting for the guy in my riding.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and a lot of people I don't think get that.
Right.
Like, I've stated this, I'm mostly liberal, but I have voted conservative for the guy that's in my riding.
Right.
Right? Like, and that's just because I think he will do a better job for the community and the riding itself than...
Now, should we have two separate votes? Should we vote for the guy in the riding, and then should we also vote for Prime Minister?
It might help Canada. It might help Canada understand who they're voting for.
Or what they're voting for.
Or what they're voting for.
I'll say, and it would help when it comes to, and again, I'll put this out there. I do lean more on the conservative side, but having the last name Trudeau muddles things a bit for some people.
For some people, yeah.
Because you want to believe in the past. You're leery about if that's all he's holding on to is because of his last name. So you want to, voting for the person and then voting for someone in your riding might help a lot of people out.
It might, absolutely.
Or it might just make it a lot more confusing and you will end up voting Jeb Bush.
And I think like when I was in high school, they introduced the civics
it's
course.
Your fault.
Yeah. I was the first year of that crap.
Yeah. I just did it last year.
I apologize for everybody having to sit through that with a child. Because it sucked. I had my teacher was an ex-CFL player, played for the Ticats. It's fucking hilarious.
I don't know who my teacher was, but I know we got a 77 in that class overall.
Nice.
I like how you say we.
Yeah, well.
So, I think people need to be better educated on how our election system works. Because all you see on TV when you hear election, you think president and the U.S. Because it's huge. They make such a big fucking deal of it.
Well, and don't forget, like, the U.S. presidential election isn't until November of 2016.
Yeah.
And we're already talking about it, and we've been talking about it for months.
And this is just to see who's running for president.
That's right.
And everybody knows
that Donald Trump's going to win.
You could have asked anybody a month ago who the three leaders of the three major parties were, and they might get one.
I would say they would get two.
Maybe. Only because it's Trudeau.
Yeah. But I can probably give you 5 electoral candidates minimum for the Americans.
Yeah.
I know the very first debate. I taped it, and I was talking to someone the next day, and I said, I watched the debate last night. And they said, what did you think of Donald Trump?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no.
Canadian debate.
Canadian debate.
The debate that affects me.
Yeah. And
there was a Canadian debate?
It drives me nuts. Like, and nobody knew.
No.
So, Harper government, or Canadian government at that, stop doing your negative ads and actually promote the friggin' election.
They don't want it.
Oh, I know, because they don't want people to go out and vote, because that's the way they're going to win.
Or lose.
They have a better chance of winning if people stay home.
Yeah.
Because the people that are going to go out and vote that know about it are the 50 plus, and they're going to vote conservative.
Yeah. As I said, it's really sad because regardless of what you guys have said tonight, the biggest thing is it's an inevitable minority government. Whatever promises or whatnot have been made anything longer than the 2017-2018 fiscal year is almost a moot point because we're not going to get that far before we have to do this all over again.
See you guys back here in 2 years.
Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I'm thinking
maybe.
Yeah, it'll start before that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they usually give it about 2 years because Harper had two.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had
two minority governments,
and he called the first one. He called an election early on the first one because he knew he'd win.
I think Paul Martin had a minority government too.
Yes. Sounds about right. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
But yeah.
Yeah, we'll be back here in a couple of years doing this exact same thing and trying to figure out.
And I'll still not know who to vote for.
You might have a better idea. Trudeau's going to grow up a little.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And don't forget, there's a lot of kids now that may be paying more attention to politics.
And I certainly hope they do.
When they're 18 in 2 years, maybe more inclined to go vote. But I think you're absolutely right by saying that the education system, when it comes to trying to explain Canadian politics, is not good.
And I don't just mean in the classroom.
No, the structure of it even.
Just...
Like, who you vote for, what that means, the impact that it has. That part isn't being taught at all. They're taught, the different levels of this, whatever, and that's it. And most people skip off or fall asleep in the class.
Yeah.
Or play, games.
Yes. Crushing their mother.
Mm-hmm.
She spelled that?
But it's so difficult to deal with that in Canada, and it's sad.
Yeah.
And kids are going to think it's cool not to vote.
Yeah.
And I've never missed an election.
No, nor have I. I think I'd get grounded if I did. Sadly.
I think I missed one municipal election.
Nice.
It's funny because my mom is going to, so my mother has volunteered and been in some capacity part of politics ever since I can remember, and the furthest back I can go, I think, is 1979 in Niagara Falls. This year, she's helping out by being that person to have to, look under the hood, so to speak. Are you who you say you are?
Yeah.
Or figure out if you don't have the proper identification, or if you're not registered, figuring out what the proper identification is and going.
I did that 1 year.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
It's interesting, though, because there's, again, so much sort of hoopla around the, everything from the fair election to the, what's under the hood. So what's under the hood? It's the only way of saying it without me messing up words.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I think this whole election is going to be interesting. I would not be surprised if someone won by one vote.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be surprised either.
But you have to go out and vote for that to happen.
Yes.
I think the only thing we can take away is say, go vote.
Yeah, I don't care who you vote for, Just vote.
And don't spoil your ballot.
Yeah.
You know?
Make it count.
Look at...
Can I vote for the Communist Party of Canada?
If you like.
Vote... Okay, you look at the main views, and then look in your own community like Tyler does, and who... You know, if the person in the community has done a lot, vote for that person. But if you're looking on the grander scale of things and you're thinking, you know, I agree with this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's a lot easier these days to find out who your candidate is and where they stand because everybody's got a website.
True.
Right? Like, it's so much easier now because everybody can have a website. I'm pretty sure each candidate on, like, the Conservative and Liberal Party websites, they have their own little section.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's easy to find. So there's, for those people in the 18 to 25 demographic, get on your phone, Google it, find your party representative in your riding, find out who they are. Not just look at the sign that's been posted on your neighbor's house. Like, find out who they are.
Cool. I think
there's not a lot to say because it's not a matter. I almost wanted it to be more.
And, you know, like, it's so hard to do that. Like, and the worst part is, I think most Canadians are the four of us. We all agree with certain aspects of each party.
Yeah. And
we disagree with certain aspects of each party. They may be different, but there's pros and cons in each one.
Absolutely.
We're all the same. The problem is we don't all vote the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if we all... And that's how you get a majority government. But the messages aren't being portrayed clear enough to the Canadian public.
No, I think what I'm going to do, I'm literally going to go look back and look at anything that's under 2 years and see how much spending is going to be done on under 2 years and how much stuff's going to be done immediately and things like that.
And I wouldn't even say that it's going to be 2 years because they're going to have to get in. Then they'll start doing stuff probably in the first maybe 3 months. And then they'll start running again.
Government, and the biggest problem with the minority government is that a minority government is great in 3-party tiered systems because that third party is the make it or break it.
Yes.
And it's fun in a way. It is. It's fun in a way and interesting in a way because sometimes the stuff that you didn't want your party to do, it'll get shot down. And sometimes the stuff you wanted your party to do will get pushed through.
Yeah.
And vice versa. But it's almost like a minority, the 3-party system is almost the best way of doing it because everybody wins and everybody loses. And the big issues...
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter who's in power then, you know?
Because it's like your voice kind of did get heard, sort of, in a way.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to vote for the guy in your riding, right? Because their voice is gonna be in the House of Commons.
Yeah.
Right? Like, everybody gets a say. That person's gonna get a vote in whatever's happening. So whether your riding goes Conservative, Liberal, whatever... If you're voting for him, you're voting for him. That's the guy you're sending to the House in Ottawa. Nobody really cares about the big guy.
No.
They're just the face of the party.
Exactly.
They don't get, like, bonus votes or anything.
No. And I mean, it again, how do you pronounce his last name? Because I always mess it up. It's Montclair, right?
Mulcair.
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 I get the L mixed up.
Mulcair.
Here.
All right.
Yeah, always get the L mixed up.
Yep. Cool.
Sweet.
I think we've said all we needed to say.
Yeah.
I didn't get to say quit your rabbling. Damn it, guys!
Next time.
Fight!
What's I hear that we have a topic for our second one already.
Yes. So we were discussing art.
Art, okay.
Yes. And so we were discussing, and this is a good teaser for the next one.
Right.
So we were discussing if movies are art.
If movies are art.
If movies are art, and if music is art,
yeah.
what is considered art?
What is considered art?
Like, so, Lindsay's example.
Yeah, the example I came up with is, like, if you think of, and I've never seen it, but you think artsy type movies like Fellini's 8.5, right?
Art. Brazil.
Art.
Right.
Freddy Got Fingered?
Not art.
And
I say that that's not fair. And then she said, and then I said, well, what about music? And she's like, well, yeah, music's art. And I said, well, what about the thong song? She's like, it's art. So
all right.
the thong song is art.
Hold on to your arguments, and
that's where we're gonna leave it.
All right. I mean, I'm intrigued.
So now we have to quit our rabbling.
Hey, Lindsay, quit your rabbling could be our sign off. And now it's time.
Okay, quit your rabbling. Quit your rabbling. Just quit it.
Thank you for listening to another RabblePress podcast. Please contact us through our website, rabblepress.com/contact. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow your favorite podcasts on Twitter.